I am privileged to present Edwin Sandy Bush for induction into the PA Athletic Training Hall of Fame. I know everyone in this room is thinking the same thing. His name is Edwin? Many thanks to Aunt Joan Arnold for giving Sandy his nickname while growing up as a young boy on his family's farmhouse in Montrose, PA. Harry S. Truman stated the following: "It's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit." This quote by President Truman defines Sandy Bush and his many accomplishments over the past 35 years. In 1983, under Sandy's guidance, Messiah College would become one of the first Christian colleges in the country to have an accredited athletic training education program. Sandy has earnestly promoted athletic training at Messiah in the local community and around the state. He has served on over 10 PATS committees, the PATS Board of Directors, and has chaired or co-chaired many of these committees. Sandy has both earned the PATS Service Award and the PATS Distinguished Merit Award. Both of these accomplishments would make the late David J. Tomasi happy, who Sandy mentions frequently as one of his many mentors. Speaking of mentors, Joe Denali, Dr. Thomas J. Yucca, who was here last night to watch his son speak, Dr. Joseph Torg, Dr. Ten Graff, and the infamous Big Berkey, to name a few who have guided Sandy through the years. I would like to take the next few minutes to introduce a very special family. Wife Sheila, brother Bill Bush and his wife Amy, who I just met 2 hours ago. Phenomenal people. Longtime family friends, Mr. and Mrs. Dick and Christine Lathrop. Daughter, Heather Bush. And son-in-law, Ryan Moore, who's teaching Bushy how to golf. Older son, Eddie Bush, who's headed to Hawaii, very jealous. Younger son, BJ William Bush. And the family dog, Moses, who could not make it because he's currently home napping in Bushy's favorite recliner. I am so honored, pardon me, and blessed to present my friend Edwin Sandy Bush for induction to the PA Athletic Training Hall of Fame. And I apologize. That's the Italian in me.
Okay, that's okay. Take your time. We want a good picture.
I didn't mean to do that to you. Apologize.
No.
I'm Italian.
It's all right.
We're emotional.
I have Italian in me too.
There you
so
go.
Like, listen to some of you guys, it's pretty emotional. I appreciate it. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Got this for me for now. Sure. Yeah, do it. All right. All right, take a deep breath. If you have to go to the bathroom, go now. I hear I'm under the A.J. Duffy rule. Anyone know what that is? They promised A.J. 10 minutes, he took 22. So now they're telling us we got 5 and that's it. I don't know, George. I'll try.
Do your best.
Couple thank yous. Got to thank the PATS board. Put on quite a spread. I know because I worked on the PATS board with Steve Heckler. And it's a lot to do. It's a lot of responsibility. Also want to thank Steve Heckler and his PATS board from 25, 30 years ago. They started the Athletic Training Hall of Fame. So that's how we got to where we're at tonight. Some others, Joe Denali. Where's Joe? Thanks, Joe, for getting me up here. Appreciate it. And especially my family, special friends, the Lathrops. You know, I can't talk about them because I'll start crying like Jeff, right? So I just want to share with you what has inspired me for the last, who knows, 50, 55 some years, when way back in, I think it's called junior high school at Montrose, I had an interested coach who got me interested in sports and got me inspired and motivated to follow this direction. So, tell you a couple things. I'm standing up here and I just can't believe this. I've always been just an average guy, right? Just an average guy trying to do above average things for my creator, for my employers, for the students and athletic training students that I serve, and for my profession. I'm on a short leash, so I'll just go through 3 or 4 of some key people who really have inspired me. The first one we called Coach back at Montrose High School. You guys have all heard of the alpha dog or the alpha male. Well, this was the alpha coach. He taught me values by just living them, and all you did was experience him and you observed him. He started the soccer program at Montrose, and that was the program that started the Bush Boys on their interest in soccer and pretty much a career in sports, and later on athletic training for me and health and PE and teaching for them. He gave me a plan on how to escape the hood, the neighborhood, the dairy farm. And if you've ever grown up on a dairy farm and you have to milk cows at night, milk cows in the morning, you can't wait to get off the dairy. So this coach, he set the example. He left Northeastern PA Dairy Farm. He went down the road to one of the good PSAC schools, East Stroudsburg. My brother and I don't hold it against him, right? Because we realized what a good deal that is and how that really helps you when you want to get off the dairy. Coach taught us what was expected, and you wanted to always please Coach, because if you didn't, there were always consequences. Consequences like you wanted to get out of study hall and go down to the gym and shoot, play horse, pal around with Coach. Couldn't screw around, okay? Could be less playing time in basketball. And you know, if you're like me, I rode the pines quite a bit. I wanted every minute of basketball I could get. He might even relegate you, Coop, to wrestling. Now, wrestling's a great sport, but please, you can't eat, Jeff, right? These other guys are trying to squeeze you in places you don't want them to squeeze you, put figure 4s on your head, things like that. I know because we had wrestling class at Lock Haven. We had to do a live wrestling, college wrestling match for a grade. Those guys tried to do those things to you. And then there was the last thing. There was always this threat of you might have to go down to his office. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather go to the principal's office or the superintendent's office, because if you went to his office, that usually meant that you were kind of in trouble, right? Or that he was going to do something to motivate you to get back on track. So I remember 2 times when I ever went to Coach's office. First one was when, on my own time, on my family farm, some of our friends from our school called up friends from the neighboring school, and they invited everyone to come over and have a little boxing match. So they brought gloves and helmets and all that stuff, and I don't know why they picked me, and I had to box Tommy Stone from Elk Lake, who was my size, right? He was like a miniature Allie, and I was like a miniature Frazier, and I don't know, we went a couple rounds. I get to school on Monday, and I get called down to Coach's office. So apparently, one of the attendees ratted me out and told Coach that I was boxing, and Coach, matter of fact, looked at me, gave me a little bit of the stink eye and goes, "You want to play basketball or you want to box?" So, you know what the answer was. Of course I wanted to play basketball. And then there was one other time when, you know, my brothers and I, we had a contract with our dad on our farm, and we did our chores there. We were in high school. I was a junior or a sophomore, and my older brother was a year ahead. This brother was a year behind. And they switched our contract up, and we were going to go work for our grandmother on another farm. We had to get up and do the cows in the morning and cows in the evening after the sports. And the nice thing kind of was we had a little contract. We made a little bit of money. Older brother Tom made $20 a week. I made 15. Poor Billy, he was down to like 10. After 6 months, there was an announcement that our contracts were going to be changed, and now we're all going to make $5 less a week. Well, older brother, who was our foreman, he just couldn't believe that, and he wanted to, you know, he wanted to boycott and all this stuff. So I thought, you know, I got to go talk to Coach. So I went in, he's in his office, knocking on the door. Hey, what's up? I just wanted to talk to you about something. So I laid this all out, you know, made it sound like, you know, we would die if our salaries were cut. There was silence. And then there was a look. And then I heard this. You got a roof over your head? Yep. You got food on the table? Yep. Clothes? Yep. Shut up. Get out of here. Man, I've been using that line forever. And when our students come in and they complain, you know, I basically tell them the same thing. Shut up, quit whining, get out of here. Number two, I have to tell you about Big Brother Tom, right? We nicknamed him George, Ralphie. He had 15 nicknames. No one knew why we nicknamed him that. Anyway, Big Brother Tom followed the model, went to the PSAC school, traveled down the road to Lock Haven. Go Haven. Can't beat it. Right, Kenny? Best place in the world. So, I remember December 1971. It was the end of my senior year after soccer. Big Brother returns from the Haven. He wanted to sit down and have the talk, right? Where was I going to go to college? Well, you know what? I told him. I said, look, I think I'm going to go play at Mount Union or the U, not Miami, Scranton, right? Davis and Elkins. You know, those were the schools where I got a letter. I wasn't going to Lock Haven for PE or whatever. I was going to play soccer, right? Tom sat me down. He said, we can't afford any of those schools. I'm thinking, what are you talking about, right? He said, we can't afford it because I know I'm there paying it. I'm paying my own way now, and I got those letters from the same schools, and I couldn't afford to go there. You can't afford to go there. He goes, what about the Haven? So I said to him, you know, is the Haven any good? Well, are they any good? Yeah, you know, we just won the Western Division of the MAC, right? I think we beat Ship, right? Where's Wessie? I think we beat Ship that year. Ship happens, right? So we talked about that, and then I go to him, I go, you know what, I didn't get a letter from the Haven coach. I don't know if they even want me. He goes, yeah, they want you. Here you go, here's your letter, and he handed it to me, right? So then I'm getting a little bit, I'm warming up to the thought. So then the next most important thing, I go, hey, how's the food, right? He goes, the food's great, man. If you get the cafeteria plan, you get 3 squares, all the carbohydrates, pies, cookies, pastries you can eat every day. How about it, right? So, you know, there it was. That's a pretty good deal, right? So the last thing was, I had to be honest, you know, how are the girls? Well, you know, Tom said we have to spend a little more time on that discussion, right? So there it was, you know, follow Big Brother to the Haven, and a year later, little